You started at 12 though as a street performer.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, obviously your parents had to be involved and accepting of that, which is very nice. Tell me about what prompted you to start doing the performances.
Sure. So great question. Great way to start, and good job with your research skills. A plus. So, yeah, I was 12 years old when I decided to do this, but when I think about it and I go back in the time capsule, the interest in magic began way before I was 12. I was probably like maybe 6 or 7, and what it was is I had a family member who was actually an magic enthusiast. It was just a little hobby. He really didn't do a lot. He didn't really take it that seriously. It was like a fun hobby that he would do around family gatherings around the holidays. And I remember every time I would visit, he would show like some basic card trick or some basic type of thing that it was very basic, but floored everyone watching, including me. And I think that stuck. And then if I go back even further, I actually realized that when I was a little kid, like a baby, my parents took me to one of the original Ringling Brothers circuses. And I'm originally from the New York, New Jersey area. And I realized that going to the circus in New Jersey was a pretty amazing experience that impressed upon me uh, the the value of entertainment, the value of astonishment, the value of laughing and smiling and getting together with people. And so I must have been like 3 or 4, but I do remember this vividly. That the two, the three things that I remember from the circus the most was the female quick change artist who started off in one color dress, and she would walk on a box very quickly, the same pace, and come out with a completely different dress. I thought that was amazing. She did that like 6, 7 times in a row. I remember that very well. I remember getting a chance to ride the elephant that they had that people could ride after. And then I remember a monkey sitting on my shoulder, and the monkey like doing a number 2 or something in the diaper that it was wearing, something like that. Those are 3 great, healthy childhood memories. Hey, maybe that psychologically affected me somehow. It damaged me. My fear of monkeys. I'm actually not afraid of monkeys, but those are the 3 big things that I remember. But I think it was the quick change. In seriousness, it was the quick change artist started it. Then my cousin, then it kind of like solidified when I was 12. I said, hey, this is something really cool. And it was actually, oh yeah, before I even got a Christmas gift of this magic trick, I would often hang out at the library because I'm one of these rare millennials, Jeff, that actually knows what a book is and knows, I know I look very young, but I was around when Netscape was the
Oh
thing.
boy.
Yeah. So when I wasn't playing Minesweeper and messing around on Netscape, I was in the library, and I read a lot when I was younger, and I also would go to the library and draw. I was still big into art, draw with just pencil drawings. So I would draw a bit, and then I would hang out browsing the shelves. And I found that there is a section in every library in America that has beginner magic books where you can learn. And when everybody asks me, what do you recommend I do if I'm just starting? I always say start at the library, just like I did, because it's number 1, it's free. Number 2, you can learn at your own pace. And number 3, nobody's judging you. You can just kind of hang out and flip through the books and practice. And so that's how I learned like beginner sleight of hand. And then I took those books home and I'd practice on my parents, of course. My mom was my biggest supporter. She loved it. And pretty soon I got, a magic book for Christmas, and 12 years old. And I think the rest is pretty much history. I was 13 and my mom said, I want to support you as much as I can. So at the time, my parents had broke up, and I was living with my, at the time, single mother. And she said, I don't have tons of money to pay for this amazing passion of yours, but what I can do is I can help you. I can support you. And I want to make sure that you get the nurturing for this career that I can see for you. So what she would do is she wouldn't buy me things. She taught me the skills that I needed, basically entrepreneurial skills. She inspired me to just go out and hustle and figure it out kind of myself. And the only thing she would do is say, hey, I got a really cool idea. I couldn't drive at the time. So she said, I'll drive you there's an art festival downtown. Let's go. Why don't we, here, I got a table. I got a folding table here. Let's bring that. And, oh, I got a glass jar, and we'll put the mason jar out on the table. And let's see what happens. We'll write tips on there, and you just start doing card tricks. And first time I did that, it worked surprisingly well, because probably 50 to 60% of the money came from just people saying, oh, isn't that cute? Look at the kid. And then the other 50% recognized that I was talented at the time. I think I had enough talent because I was good enough to fool people, or at least maybe they were fooling me by pretending that they were fooled, whatever. I was good enough to at least win them over, and I would get little small crowds. And remember, I spent a few hours there. I made $70 cash, $70. And I was 12 years old. And to a 12-year-old who doesn't have any other type of job, I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty
I'd go do that tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm inspiring you. I'm inspiring others to.
$70 for 3 hours. I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really an amazing just way to test the water, and it seemed to work really well. And so she would just keep driving me around to these different things, say, hey, try this, try that. And all she would do, she would never hand anything to me on a silver platter. She'd say, try it. I want you to go in there. I want you to be confident. Let's see what happens. And man, I say this in all my interviews. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm a man that doesn't mind saying that I know where I came from, and I appreciate the support of my mother, because I really would not be where I am today without her support.